Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 12th episode of the Save File podcast. Today with me is a man who fights gods with the power of friendship, but can't dodge lightning for 200 times for the best weapon, Josh.
I don't understand the reference, but I feel frustrated.
Final Fantasy X. The whole friendship thing is other JRPGs.
Yeah, no, makes sense now. Continue.
Yeah.
I thought it was My Little Pony. Friendship is magic.
Yeah.
The power of friendship, I'm like, what anime bullshit are you putting onto me now?
And today with me is a man who's able to shoot hoops with the Lakers, but can't catch passes from LeBron James, Charbel.
You say that with way too much enthusiasm.
I came out like a true fan of sports ball.
And then you've got the hey, what up? 'Tis me, Anth.
Tis Anth! He eateth the cookie dough raw.
Oh my
boy,
god.
Oh boy, do we have a lot
And what's
of
on
topics
for
to cover.
what's on the menu today, Anth?
Oh, well, so we've got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things have popped out this week, and it's really a lot of news. Like,
Alright.
so we just to start off with, we were about to talk about the whole when me and my friend were talking about Spider-Man. Like, there was this video about
Oh god.
so
You know he knows that it's going to get one of us fired up because of how carefully he's trying to word
He's trying to
this.
word it really carefully.
so I might have brought up with these guys. I'm sorry, dude. But no, it was the whole Spider-Man is linear thing. Charbel, you lay it out. I'm sorry.
No. This is your mate. You lay out what he said, and just do it. Go.
Give us the synopsis.
Okay, so essentially we were talking about microtransactions in single-player games, which was like, and I was saying that shouldn't even be like a question.
Cease.
That shouldn't be a question at all. And then I think it came to the point of like the games that did contain, like the single-player games that did contain that sort of thing, which was essentially like I forgot what I said then, but. And then we came to Spider-Man itself, and then he said that all of those are open world games, the ones I've mentioned in that little conversation we had, and then Spider-Man is just clearly linear, and I said, linear how? Like, it's obviously open. And he says, and I think he said it's because of the web swing, and I'm going, but you're given many options to travel through web swing. Like, you can run walls, you've got a lot of options. And then I think he said something along the lines of I don't know, the feel of it or something like that. Like it feels linear as well. And I said, but how can it be linear? How can it feel linear if you haven't played it yet? That doesn't make sense. I feel so bad.
God.
I feel so
Josh is sitting there just thinking, "Good Charbel, let the hate flow through you."
okay,
Good.
Charbel.
Okay.
Tis
So
your
let
turn.
me start with this. I don't know how you know how a game feels before you've played it. At best, you can say it looks linear, and even then, like, I mean that. I don't think Spider-Man looks linear. There are definitely times where the level design guides you to where you go, but we don't know if it's going to be a linear game. All right.
Hasn't there already been promotional material calling it open world?
Yeah, I think it was when it was first announced.
I mean, like, wasn't it announced as like an open world Spider-Man game?
But by no means he wasn't shitting on it or completely. I don't think so. But he said he
but
praised the combat.
Here's what I disagree with your mate. He calls the game linear as a negative thing, saying that it feels predetermined. You know, like he's associating a lot of negative concepts with the idea of linearity.
Yeah, that's not
Right?
that's not entirely a your friend thing. That is a general prevailing thing that's coming out.
Yeah.
No, we see it with a lot of games, but why does linear have to be bad? Look, to be honest, Uncharted is a very linear game. Seriously, any of the Uncharted games are pretty linear. The one that's probably the most open out of all of them is Uncharted 4, and even then it's only, it's still very enclosed. It does give you very strong ideas on where to go.
Most like RPGs in that are linear, and like
Yeah.
most praised games from like back in the 90s, back in the 16-bit area, were linear. Linear design is something like they had to work with at the time because just the capabilities of open world wasn't realistic at that point. But
Ratchet and Clank, my favorite series, another very linear series in some ways.
There's nothing wrong with linear games. They're designed around a singular path, so it's more fun to play them in that singular path. They're designed for that. But open world games are an entirely different thing. But I think it's just the whole... I don't want to blame Skyrim because it's not its fault, but ever since like the Xbox 360, the PS3 and that's when open world games really exploded into like the mainstream of what everything had to be. Like you couldn't
I disagree. I would say that it was the generation before that, because I don't know if you remember, but the success of the 3D universe Grand Theft Auto games sort of led to like every single series having an open world game for some reason.
You know what? No, you are right. This is GTA's fault. No, but like no, you're right. Actually, it was games like San Andreas and that back in the day in the GTA games. Like that is when like open worlds really exploded into what the modern gamer thought as good games, and we just kind of, I guess, it's the whole thing of gamers nowadays are looking for a lot more freedom from their big titles. But also, we're starting to run into the thing of games having ridiculously huge maps filled with nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, freedom can be achieved in a multitude of different ways. For example, Call of Duty 4, right?
Yeah.
In 2007, that game released. And one thing that it was praised for, especially because, especially in its multiplayer, was the creator class feature. That itself can be called freedom.
Oh no, that was definitely freedom.
But like that's what is. I think freedom can be achieved in so many different ways.
I think this.
Sorry,
but I think this comes back to another topic. It's the exact same thing as when people ask for like better looking games when they demand better graphics. When I think that people don't actually want better graphics, people want better aesthetics in their games.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much graphics can really help. And I think that comes back to it. It's like, I think people can confuse the concept of having freedom with the concept of an open world, where you can have freedom without having an open world, like you've stated.
I mean, there are some games that I think really nailed the feeling of an open world.
Oh, yeah.
One game that I played way too much of as a kid, believe it or not, was the Scarface The World Is Yours game. And no, I'm being serious.
I know.
Like that but that game actually gave you freedom in a lot of different ways. You could, especially because the game was really open-ended, because a lot of it was just take over, this part of Miami. You could achieve that in different ways. You could wipe out gangs in the area. You could do drug deals in the area. Yeah, the higher your reputation got, the more you would take over, and it sort of fed into each other. Like that can be freedom because you're achieving that in different ways.
Yeah.
There's other games that do things as well. The Godfather on PS2, and I eventually.
Gangsters.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like, I remember just going into like any business, and you had freedom in how you took over the business. You could upgrade it in terms of RPG elements, quote unquote. You could upgrade one that was called your street smarts, and that would allow you to negotiate better. And like, if you maxed out your street smarts, you could go into almost any business and just talk your way into ownership. Or if you weren't that good at upgrading your street smarts and you wanted to go a different route, you could just beat the shit out of the store owner, smash up stuff in the store, and, you'd extort them, essentially. But you had freedom in doing that.
The freedom.
Yes. The freedom to exact violence on them when negotiations are brought down.
The freedom of a criminal.
Yes. Other examples are just like, even probably the most recent one I can think of is Breath of the Wild achieved a great sense of freedom in its gameplay without seeming aimless.
even before the era of like the PS2 games, like as you said, GTA. This I wouldn't say these are like open world, but the concept of an overworld in like a JRPG, I guess you could say that had like that opened everyone's eyes of a big world.
It did, actually. I would say that JRPGs probably... They were definitely the games with the biggest kind of open maps. Like especially like the early Final Fantasies. They had big maps to explore. Like even Final Fantasy 1, like, the world does open up quite a bit and you can do things kind of out of order, which is really revolutionary for back then.
Yeah, and even before Final Fantasy, the Dragon Quest games, back then, that blew people's minds for the ones who played it.
So the lesson here is that we're all old and Spider-Man is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But no,
I'm sorry.
no. In all seriousness, I think the lesson is don't associate a style of gameplay with negativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if something's linear, it doesn't mean that it's bad. Like we could name quite a few games that are very linear in the design, but they're not bad. The same way you could name games that are... Oh, well. And it begins.
Yeah. Well, you can name games, like... I would keep this open to, like... I don't... Especially something that I had to, like, really unlearn was the free-to-play market. I used to see free-to-play games. If I saw it was free-to-play, immediately it was on my shit list.
Oh, yeah, I had the same exact mentality.
Yeah, I can't handle it, because free-to-play games... It wasn't the fact that they weren't free. It was the fact that they twisted your fucking arm into doing it. EA. But I think that over time I've learned to like get rid of that kind of perspective. These games, there are games that are free that have a lot of merit that are free to play with microtransactions in them. It's just a lot of them abuse it.
I think the only free-to-play games that do bother me, I mean this is common with a lot of them now, is the ones that you like it needs the internet to run.
That's pretty much all mobile games now.
I know.
I don't think I own a mobile game on my phone that I can play offline.
Yeah.
I do, Max Payne.
Oh yeah, Max Payne. Oh wait, no, I do. I got like Final Fantasy 1 through 5.
Oh.
No, but to be honest, I mean, that doesn't bother me that much, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I need the internet to play a game, then it's sort of just like, well, I'll only play this if I have my, if I'm connected to my Wi-Fi or some shit like that. It's not a game that I'm gonna go on the bus and be like, fuck, man, I want to play, Ape Invaders or some shit now. But I need an internet connection. Also, I would totally play a game called Ape Invaders.
Oh, I was about to say, please look out for Right Hook Productions' Ape Invaders for the iOS.
Oh my god.
Fucking, I'll make that.
Coming
that
to a
fun.
store, coming to an app store near you.
Yeah. No. But,
I mean, it would be coming to an app store near me, but we got rejected classification by the Australian government.
Yeah, they said that gorillas peddle drugs.
Oh, man.
Yeah, can't do that.
So this moves on to a topic that I want to talk about, which is, should games be censored? Right? Now, this is a very case-by-case thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are some games that I feel like we shouldn't need to censor them. For example, Fallout was censored mainly because of the Australian and German government, because MedX was originally called morphine, and both of them looked and said, well, we don't want a real-world drug to have positive effects in game in case people, get the wrong idea about it. And so its name was changed to MedX. That's the short version of it. Yeah. And the other thing that actually made it censored was, in the German version, it cuts out in the intro where you see someone get executed. And, to be honest, I don't see a reason to censor that. I've never seen someone pull, an execution-style assassination and then say, oh, I was just given this great idea from a video game.
It'd be so fucked up.
Oh.
But there are some times where I understand when they censor a game.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I put a lot of the onus on parents, for starters, because it's always... I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but for example, Target in Australia pulled... And I think it might have been Kmart as well. Grand Theft Auto 5 off their shelves because parent groups complained that a game that encourages violence against women was on sale.
Yeah, it was all because of the whole. I think the whole thing was the cycle of you could hire a prostitute and then kill her to get the money back.
Yeah, I mean,
whole
it's not
thing.
like that's sort of been like a serious thing, since like 2001 or possibly earlier. But
I know.
but it's more just like taking away from the fact that that's not what the game is about. That's not what we're here to argue. We're here to argue of
should it be censored
was
because
it?
it has that?
Yeah,
I think
personally,
no.
Yeah, I'm with you on
same
that.
here. Like, this is the way I look at it. Like, sorry if I'm like cutting you off there a bit. Like I always look at it like this when it comes to like thematics and all that. Like, it doesn't have to be sunshine and rainbows. Nothing is. Like, if you want to make a game as gritty and edgy as possible, go for it.
Okay, I'm going to come at it from a different angle. Yours is completely valid, but I'll come at it from a different angle. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a game.
Yeah.
We discussed that sequence that you can do there is not what the game is about, and the game doesn't tell you to do that at any point.
Are you referring to the torture mission?
Not the torture mission, the prostitute thing.
Oh, alright.
Because that was the reason why it was censored. Because of
Yeah.
that interaction you could do. But my whole thing would be, the reason why that interaction can happen is not due to any purposeful intent. The reason why that happens is because the game is giving you certain freedoms. That's a game where you can kill any civilian, anyone, anytime with a gun, no matter where they are, what you're doing. You can just stop what you're doing, save, and go and commit a mass murder of thousands and thousands of people. And you can get money from that. You can get money from that. And that's what I'm saying. That is an interaction that is a consequence of the freedom of design of that game.
Yeah.
Now, I've talked to people about this. I even talked to someone who has worked on games before, and even he said, like, well, they could have made it so there was a small cutscene where the prostitute like walks away and disappears off screen or something, just so that wouldn't happen. I could see that as after the backlash. And I was talking to him about it, and we were saying that that's some way they could alleviate that. And even I thought afterwards is, yeah, that would be an acceptable way to alleviate that. But also, it's not encouragement. I understand that mechanically, the problem was mechanically it is encouraging, because you can just watch the cutscene and then get back the resources that you spent. But it's not through any ill intent or malintent. That's a decision that you have to make. And if you're really that uncomfortable with that decision, just don't kill the prostitute. The game's not forcing your hand.
I'm also not... I mean, I completely agree with both of your points, but to me it's also a case of you should know what your child is playing.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
if
yeah,
it comes down to kids.
Yeah.
Kids should not be fucking playing GTA.
Well, yeah, I say kids mainly because I mostly hear about, if you turn on the news and video games I mentioned, 9 times out of 10 it's this is what kids are playing, and then it'll show something violent.
Yeah, think of the
Fortnite.
children. Rip us.
But to me, it's just like, you should raise your child to know right from wrong, not to listen to a video game. Like, to me, it's just... I mean, I played plenty of violent video games growing up. I don't know if you two did.
No.
Sort of.
But it's like... It didn't turn me into a bad person. I've never been arrested. I've never committed a violent crime. And there are plenty of people like me who played the same games and are perfectly functioning members of society.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just one of those issues that gets overblown. And it's always for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, what was accomplished by pulling that game off the store shelves of Targets and Kmart? All you did was stop the, maybe 1 or 2% of people that didn't own the game by then.
Also, I'm pretty sure
from going to Kmart.
I'm pretty sure if the game is on the shelf, all you're doing is costing the store money. Like, I think units sold at that point, like the company who sells the game has already made their money on that.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so like Target only hurts itself from doing that. So I don't feel bad for developers. But, and I want to say this, we bring this up a lot on this podcast. We talk about this a lot, about the onus being on the parents and, like, just responsibility. And that really is what a lot of things come down to. Is just,
Yeah.
if you don't think it's appropriate for your kid to be doing it, then grow up and stop your kid.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like every kid has a monkey see, monkey do type of, I guess, behavior. But,
Yeah.
like, if kids end up doing that sort of thing, that's on you as a parent to make that decision to stop them.
Yeah, stop them if it's really that bother. And also, sit
Well,
down with
it's
them.
part of the job.
Yeah. Also, here's another thing. If you really want to fucking connect with your kid, especially because I see, like, you see so often, like, oh, I'm losing my kids to video games and stuff. Just sit down with your kid and try to play with them, or try to help them. Read, like, a walkthrough with them. If you try and engage with them even a little bit, it's going to mean the world to them.
Yeah. If your kid goes through, like, some phase that you don't agree with, I guess try to agree with it.
Yeah, just try to understand it.
Yeah.
No, as long as it isn't directly harming them, just try to at least support them through whatever they're doing. Now speaking of people who need to grow up and need to think about what they're doing,
Oh well, here we go.
Yeah.
a reviewer got into a little bit of hot water because they happened to plagiarize a review of a YouTuber. Now I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who the YouTuber is, but apparently
I think his name was Boombox Games.
that
or
sounds
something
about
like
right.
that.
That sounds about
Yeah.
right. If we're wrong, I'll put a thing on here. But
Yeah.
essentially, I think this guy was the Nintendo editor for IGN, and he did a video review of Dead Cells. Now the review, honestly, was fine. It was a positive review. It reflected the game. The only problem is it was almost word for word the points that this other reviewer has made, and this other reviewer had made their video about 6 months beforehand. So I couldn't see it as a similarity of minds. How does this happen? How can you be that prevalent and that important in your job status and then plagiarize a review on the internet? You're not going to get away with it. And it's disrespectful, and it really fucks up smaller creators. Like, what the fuck? What are your guys' opinion on this?
It's definitely far from a coincidence if it's from word for word. Like,
Well, oh sorry, you.
oh no, you go first. I need to really think.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you are working in game journalism, the ability to form an opinion is a pretty important one. And if you're just simply plagiarizing other people, then, with all due respect, what are you doing in that profession?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's to me, like, it's shocking because it's especially you're working for one of the biggest video game journalism outlets in the world, and you know, people look at what you put out as almost like a representative of that. And if you're just putting out, you know, plagiarized stuff, you know, it's going to drag the name of, well, for starters, it's going to drag your name through the mud, and you're also going to drag your employee's name through the mud. But I think we do need to say that IGN did take pretty swift action when they found out about this.
They have taken down it.
Yeah, they took down the written review as well as the video review. So, actually, credit to them for, you know, getting on top of it pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
don't often have sympathies towards these big commercial outlets on these things happen, but they acted in everyone's best interest there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
and I actually want to give, as well, credit to the original creator. I can't remember his YouTube channel off the top of my head. Either. I think, like I said, it was Boombox Games or something like that. But in an interview, I was watching a journalist I follow on YouTube today, and he quoted this interview. He said, "I hold no ill will over it. I don't want the guy to lose his job," or anything like that. And I'm like, that is that is such a respectful response to someone who stole your work.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially. Like, I mean, credit to him. Like, if I found out that someone had stolen my work and had, been making a living off, stealing my work, even if it is for the first time, well, I mean, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, no,
So credit to
I'd
this
be
guy
upset.
for being so cool and forgiving about it.
Amp, you want to give your opinion?
Well, no, like when it comes to like this sort of thing, I can't like get through these people's minds what urges them to like steal like minor people's work. It really baffles me. It's sad as it is aggravating.
Mm.
Like I don't know if this is true for everyone, like people who does this sort of thing, but say you look up to IGN as like a reviewer or like GameSpot or something like that, and you want to be just like them. Like, how would you feel if someone from that outlet stole your shit and then ran with it? Like, would you look up to them then?
No, it's a respect loss.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, just as a general audience, I wouldn't honestly take into account any of this guy's opinions in the future
Yeah.
until it's proven that he's not going to do this again.
Like,
And it damages people's trust,
Yeah.
and companies can't afford that.
like honestly, like, I'd be pretty pissed too that I got my like interview plagiarized by someone else, especially from an outlet that I might likely look up to. But
Yeah, no, it would suck a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
like, I wouldn't outright like full on go on a tirade and swear at them like all hell on Twitter, but I would literally like, I wouldn't be happy about it.
No. There's a certain level
Eh.
of professionalism expected from both sides.
Amph would like knock on the door politely with one hand and have a baseball bat in the other.
Pardon me, sir. Could you step outside?
You want to catch these hands?
I can imagine Amph just showing up to like your company's doorstep, just saying, "You want to catch these hands, man?"
The secretary is just like, sir, I'm not sure why you're talking to me about this.
It's like, "Sir, how did you get on the premises?"
We'll get Peter Molyneux.
freaking
Oh.
drives the car into
Oh.
their building and then walks in with glasses and a jacket.
Jesus, dude.
Rock music in the background.
No, but we know Amph wouldn't do that because Amph's daily routine does not involve a jacket. It normally just involves a wife beater and shorts.
I do wear a jacket though.
Yeah, but if you want to check out the original interview, please check out the description box. I'll have it linked there for everyone, so you can go and actually have a look at this guy, because it's a really good interview, to be honest. Yeah, review.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah, yeah. No, he did a really good job. It was worth plagiarizing.
Oh,
Ah.
so
I got Smash leaks if anyone wants them.
Here
let's
we
save
go.
that for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
Tomorrow, are we doing this daily now?
Okay, so
no. It's
we record this on a Wednesday, and Smash is directors tomorrow. So and by the time
Oh,
this goes
man.
up, it'll be week-old news.
I know who it is as well, and I'm just going.
You know who it is? Well, that's all I have, so I'm gonna do that. Charles,
is
do you
it?
care?
No.
Well, okay, let me go through. So the process of this, Nintendo done goofed, or they just don't give a shit. So on the Smash Ultimate website, if you look at the songs, you can go to where that says the Gallagher medley, and if you middle click on it, it takes you to a YouTube page, and you would assume it would be the YouTube page for the Gallagher medley. It's not. It's actually the YouTube page for a different song for Bloody Tears, which is a Castlevania 2 song. So people are saying that Simon Belmont from Castlevania will be in Smash.
Oh, rip! If it's actually
I
Alucard-
did not expect that.
That honestly surprises me that they would pick Simon. Like, that honestly surprises me. I thought they would pick, like, Trevor, because he's in the Netflix animated series.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess they chose him because he's like the first ever of like that series.
Oh, yeah. No, he was the protagonist of the first one.
Yeah, like he isn't the first chronologically. We know that's someone else.
Oh, chronologically.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
don't get me started on that.
yeah, the fucking Castlevania timeline, dude. Oh, jeez. But no.
It's a very interesting timeline to have a look at.
Oh yeah, Like,
Yeah, but
it gets really insane.
it's like the Zelda timeline. It just ignore it.
There's a lot of non-canon games that should have been canon though.
Oh yeah, no, there's a ton of non-canon games which are fantastic. Yeah, so Simon Belmont. That's actually pretty interesting.
Okay. Speaking of characters in video games as guest characters,
Oh god.
This is gonna be.
I brought this up yesterday.
No.
I bought this. Yes, I did. And in fact, actually, when you edit this, please put in the photo I sent. But Negan from The Walking Dead is coming to Tekken. I did not expect that.
Did you know someone actually?
I'm not gonna lie.
Tweeted the I think it was the Tekken director a long time ago saying, please add Negan from The Walking Dead, and then the guy responded saying, and Lucille. I forgot what he said afterwards, but he said and Lucille, and he said yeah maybe or something like that. I'm going oh, and that leads to the present day where he's actually confirmed.
I can just imagine Devil Jin is like getting ready to fight and like take over the world, and Negan just shows up and like hits him over the head with a baseball bat.
Oh god. All I can find is the one of him like with a baseball bat trying to take it to Noctis's head.
I actually put that picture as well. I think that's the one I sent as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you sent.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, like.
And that just reminded me of the story that's after this. Fucking goddamn it.
This opens up the possibilities now. Like what I said afterwards after seeing that photo. Fucking god, this means Jon Snow for fucking Soul Calibur 6.
I'd play that shit.
Yeah, I would play that shit. But...
I'd play that shit. That's the thing. Like, I think the expansions of guest characters into like different mediums is really interesting.
Like we have Kratos from God of War in I think it was the PS3 version of Mortal Kombat 9, or just Mortal Kombat.
Yep, it was.
You had Link in Soul Calibur.
No, not just that, but they also had Freddy Krueger in that Mortal Kombat.
Oh, they did have Freddy Krueger in that Mortal Kombat. So there is a precedent for this.
But we all know that the best guest character in any video game goes to Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst being in SmackDown Just Bring It as a guest character.
What the fuck is life? Is this real? Are things real?
Remember the day when
not really.
Noctis was actually announced for Tekken 7, and this was a long time ago. Everyone's gone,
really
what?
Funny.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, man, what the hell?
And even like further back from that, there was Cloud in Smash Bros. Everyone thought that was impossible.
Bayonetta in Smash Bros. Really took me off guard, honestly.
Really?
What the fuck? I don't think she'd even been on a Nintendo console at that point.
Freaking Lars Alexanderson from Tekken 6 is in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2.
What the fuck?
I shit you not. Yes, he is. He is.
Oh, life is fucking...
Like, everyone else used, like, shurikens, and then there's him that just pulls out a fucking semi-automatic machine gun and just shoots you with that.
Why is there sadness in the world when these things can happen? The world is magical. People have been calling for Goku and Smash all day. It's getting on my nerves.
I don't even think that's freaking possible. Wait, but
I think it is.
Now I think it is because of the whole Walking Dead thing. Like,
no, I think it is because Akira Toriyama is a madman, and I could see that.
Could you imagine it?
Sakurai coming out and snapping his fingers and half the roster disappears because we did the Waluigi shit.
Could you imagine it was actually like Waluigi appears and there's like, psych, nah, here's Goku.
That'd be so good. Well, apparently there was a poll ran a while ago in Japan. I'll see if I can find the results, but about what characters they would like to be in the new Smash Brothers game.
Yeah.
Sans from Undertale was like number 7.
Oh man.
I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh, this might sound generic from me, but I want Sora in Smash.
You're a filthy casual.
What about you guys? Who do you guys want in Smash?
Who do we want?
I don't even know who I would want. Do they have to be video game characters or just like fictional characters?
I guess fiction characters at this point.
At this point, yeah. Anything goes now.
I'm just thinking like anyone from any mobster movie in Smash would just be funny. Just like Final Smash just hit someone with a cannoli. I would main that character.
Oh, Godzilla for Smash.
This just in, Chabelle ruins Smash.
Freaking
It's like you've just sent Mario off the screen, you just activate like a voice and it's just like, hey, take your lumps.
Take your lumps. Oh god.
It's like when he launches a character off screen, it just yells, beat it.
Yeah. Could you imagine? It's like you have Mario, then you have Dr. Mario, then you have Super Mario Bros. The movie Mario.
Yeah. Then you have CDI Mario.
Oh, dude, that would. Oh.
I hope it's a spaghetti.
I hope it's lots of spaghetti. Toast.
Oh my god.
Oh, CDI Link. And CDI Zelda.
CDI Link. Can I have CDI Zelda? That would be my favorite.
Oh, dude. Oh, fuck.
She kills every time she kills anyone. Good.
Nah, it's if there's actually an Easter egg. If CDI Zelda comes first, but Link is second, he actually just goes, "Well, excuse me, princess."
Oh, that'd be funny.
Also, okay, I gotta ask you guys. Can you imagine if, so now the Pokemon trainer can throw out a few Pokemon.
Yeah.
Imagine if they somehow, just for any reason, added the ability to like, you could just swap in and out. Like you could have any of the Pokemon that have ever existed.
Well, like all of upload them from a Pokemon game into it.
Actually, I saw probably one of the funniest photos, which was someone made custom characters for WWE 2K18. And the photos, I think I sent it to you guys. And it had Jesse McCree from Overwatch, Zangief from Street Fighter. They painted someone just completely yellow and called them Pikachu. They just, I was just scrolling on Facebook and I saw it, and it said leaked Smash Brothers image. And the funniest one was McCree was actually the lowest rated, and I was like, God damn it. I was like, man, McCree seems like the sort of person who'd be overpowered in a Smash Brothers game.
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah, I can imagine him being in the next Evo, and then instead of Bayonetta being cursed out, it's McCree.
McCree. It's high noon.
It's hot. It's 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock. Oh god, life is suffering. I've turned it back around.
Actually, there was I was watching a video not too long ago, and it was, I can't remember for the life of me what this channel was called either, but he covers like games that are quite clearly knockoffs of other games. And he was playing one that was, I think it's called This Game Is Definitely Not Overwatch.
Is it Paladin?
Is it Paladins?
No. It wasn't Paladins, but I mean they essentially copied Overwatch's maps like shot for shot. And I couldn't stop laughing because when the McCree character altered, he yells out, "It's 3:30."
What?
What's his name? McCrew?
Oh my god. No, I think his name was like Jensen or something. He's like McCree. He's like an Asian cowboy, I think.
What even is that? What is it? What is it? What even is life at this point?
Asian cowboy.
Oh my god.
Man, like some parody. Like I understand if it was a parody, but oh man, I actually think the best parody video game of all time goes to Duty Calls. Did either of you play that?
No.
Nope.
So it was made by EA. If you remember the game Bulletstorm, which is actually like one of my favorite like sleeper games of all time. In leading up to it, they were making fun of a lot of the like modern military shooters that were around at the time, and they released a demo of a game called Duty Calls. And it's funny because every time you shot, the character would yell out "boring," and it was just like filled with all the fucking stereotypes of those modern military shooters. There's one scene where someone comes out and he's like, "Hello, I'm wearing an eye patch and I speak in a foreign accent. This means I am antagonist of video game." And You have to like get him to surrender the nuclear code or some shit.
Nuclear.
What the fuck?
Like every like 2 people you shoot, you get like a level up. And I remember the game would like just be like, "Rake up, Master Sergeant, shooter person," and it would just like give you some bullshit title.
Oh my god.
It was funny as hell. And then like at the end of it, it's like, now you could play games like that, or you could play this, and it shows a trailer of Bulletstorm. That was fucking great marketing.
It's funny. That's so dumb. Print
It
it.
was just funny.
Was that
It was just
was
funny.
that guy, the antagonist, meant to be like some sort of parody of Makarov or something?
Yeah, it's probably. I think it's just more of as just like, hello, comrade. Oh god! I found the poll, by the way, of Japanese character poll results. So number one was I'll do them in order. So number 1 is Rex from Xenoblade 2. Number 2 is Bandana Waddle Dee from Kirby. Number 3 was Springman from ARMS. Number 4, King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country. Number 5 for UAMF is Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, boy.
Number 6 is 2B from Nier Automata.
Oh yeah, boy.
Number 7 is Sans from Undertale.
Alright, round down the top 10. Who else we got?
Ashley from WarioWare is number 8. Karate Joe from Rhythm Heaven is number 9. And Crash Bandicoot is number 10.
Oh.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to say this, and this is going to be probably the most controversial thing I've ever said on this show. I honestly think that the roster in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale in some ways is better than some of the Smash Brothers characters.
You're gonna have to back that up.
I'm just kidding.
Alright.
Yeah.
Tell me the 8 best characters in Smash Brothers. Actually, the 4 best. 4 best characters.
What, just like the people?
Like, who would be like the 4 like best characters in Smash? Not best as in most useful, just funnest characters.
Like in our personal opinion?
Yeah,
Okay,
go for it.
You first, Josh.
Mario, Ness, Lucina, and Little Mac.
Alright, I have Sonic, Shulk, Corrin, Link, and Mario.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario.
Now, that's all well and good. But would you rather see those guys fight? Or would you rather see Kratos, Dante, Raiden from Metal Gear, and then fucking Parappa the Rapper or some shit?
I want Parappa the Rapper for Smash Brothers.
Parappa the Rapper used to literally... One of his finishing moves was to do a kickflip over your dead body.
What the fuck?
He would literally get on his skateboard and do a kickflip into you.
Oh my god.
And he would kill you with it. Like, it was just crazy because on one hand, they've got all these serious characters. They had Heihachi from Tekken. They had, like I said, Raiden from Metal Gear, Nathan Drake, Kratos, what's her name? Heavily Sword, Nariko. Like, they had all these serious characters. And then you've got, like, fucking Ratchet and Clank, Spike, Parappa the Rapper, and fucking... and Toro, the Japanese PlayStation mascot.
You had Cat as DLC as well.
Yes, Cat. No, they had Cat and Zeus as DLC.
Fucking Zeus! No, my boys.
Like, it had less characters, but each of those characters was just funny as hell.
I will give you this. That is still not as interesting as Little Mac versus Ridley, because that just... In what acid trip did that happen?
What about if I told you Sweet Tooth and Sly Cooper punching on?
Okay, that does make me interested, but I still like Smash Brothers overall mechanically better than the PlayStation All Stars game. But that
I'm not arguing mechanically.
No, it's still a fun
I actually I loved the shit out of PlayStation All Stars. Me and my mates just played that, and I guarantee you that if my mates were in this conversation, they'd tell you about how it was extremely cheap to use Sweet Tooth and Kratos in that game.
Oh yeah,
but I think one of the reasons my mates loved it so much is because we grew up on PlayStation.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I think every fucking console should have that. You know, Xbox can have one where it's just Master Chief and no one else, because who the fuck else do they have?
Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I guess technically they would have Conker.
Freaking
That makes me so sad.
Master Chief
That
versus
makes-
a Forza car.
That makes me so sad. I'm so depressed now. Can we, Alexa, play Dispatcher?
Oh my god.
Okay, guys, I have to bring this up. Now, it's not Fortnite, but it is PUBG. PUBG just opened a website called Fix PUBG, where they are asking fans to fix PUBG.
Wait, what?
Bugs, performance problems, and quality of life issues have been limiting PUBG's true potential, and you want it fixed. So we think it's time to do something about it.
But why though?
But why though? It's because PUBG just doesn't want to accept that it's dead.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this, right? Serious question. Outside of the differences in aesthetic, obviously PUBG being a lot more realistic, Fortnite, I should say, having a more cartoony look to it. Why would anyone play PUBG? Outside of that?
I wouldn't even give it that, honestly. It looks like a Gary's mod.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. It's just bad. There really is
I know,
a reason. Like, Fortnite is just like one of the things where I can truly say it's like, this is just an objectively better game. There isn't even subjectivity to it anymore.
No, look, I feel like Fortnite is a better game than PUBG, personally, but a lot of the people I've seen defend PUBG online say things like, oh yeah, no, PUBG is, more mature because it's got a more realistic vibe to it.
Those people are edgy and 12.
Yeah. Fuck those guys.
I personally can't get into battle royale games. I've said that, but it's just like, wouldn't you just prefer a game that's objectively better?
People defend. I think they defend it because PUBG was first.
I think it's mostly also because of their loyalty to the product.
Oh, brand loyalty is fucking terrible.
It leads to so much hypocrisy.
No, it does. You do not want to be blinded by it.
Yeah.
I guess is what we're trying to say. It's a case of you want to do the best job you can to get the best thing for you. At the end of the day, you're a consumer.
Yeah.
And if for example, I use this with consoles a lot. This example, but it's like, I know a lot of people that play on PS4 that were playing on Xbox last generation because they find the PS4 to be objectively better. And I know a few people that don't like the PS4 because they just feel the Xbox is better. And it's fine, but at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're doing what you consider to be best for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you definitely don't accept inferior quality.
No.
Like, if something comes out and it's just objectively better, in every conceivable way, give that one a try.
Yeah, no, don't be afraid to throw out criticism if it's constructive. When AC Unity came out, all my mates will know that I was outspoken about the numerous technical glitches and bugs that game faced. Even though it had patches, I've said it before and I'll say it again, your game, and actually your product in general, should work on the day of release.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Day one patches are something that just piss me off.
Oh god. It's
infuriating. It really is.
I know why they exist. I know why, but it is infuriating as a consumer.
Don't get me wrong, I like when a game is supported post-launch, but I shouldn't need your game to have a hotfix on the day of release.
It's not good.
To me, the only time I can sort of excuse it is, I guess, when it does what God of War did, where it had very small updates, because they would fix one or two very small things. But if I put in your game and it says 4 hours to download your day one patch, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, fucking Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
yeah,
15,
that's-
5 hours I think. Was it 5 hours? Hang on, I
Uh,
picked it up at, I think it was 8:30 or 9, and then it finished at 11, 12.
Oh my god.
So that was like
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I should be able to put in the game and have it work.
You should, and I don't know. Like I think I said a few weeks ago, one of my mates loves Persona 5 specifically for that reason.
Yeah, no, you mentioned
And he
it.
was-
Yeah.
He was so happy when he put it in and he could immediately play it. And he was like, "Yeah, man." He was like, "I could immediately play it." And I'm like, "That should not be a selling point."
That shouldn't be the bar we're at. Where? Why?
We've come to that point in time. It's become ridiculous.
It has.
It really
And-
is.
You know, it does bother me.
Hmm. Like, the only games that haven't done that for me so far were Persona 5, and I think Final Fantasy 13 The Zodiac Age, because that was a remaster.
Yeah, fuck that game.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
Why?
Nah,
There we go.
I'm just not into Final Fantasy. Not into Final Fantasy The Zodiac Age. What is it, 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I can't get... The combat pisses me off. It's the same reason why I can't get into Xenoblade. The combat is just... It's got that MMO feel, where, like,
Yeah.
for some reason, you don't... Instead of having, like, the characters actually hit the enemy, they just kind of swing in front of them and the enemy gets hit.
Hmm. Oh.
And suddenly it's like, you did 300 damage.
Yeah, it's like, well, go away. Let me...
Oh.
You know what game I actually want to get back into playing is Hyrule Warriors. I picked that up on the Switch, and I enjoyed the hell out of it for a few days, and then I can't remember where I went. I had to do something from memory, and I came back and I just like stopped playing it. Not because I didn't want to, but it was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get back into GDA.
Oh, yeah, no, I can see.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you can't focus on, like, I guess, you want to mainly focus on one game at that point in time.
Oh yeah, now me, I normally play like 2 or 3 games at a time. So it's like, because it's rare for me to get like so into a game where I play it non-stop. I've got to have something else in between. Like there are some games where they're like mindless games.
Yeah.
For example, GTA to me is a mindless game because I literally turn off the audio and I'll have like something I'm watching in the background or whatever while I play. You know, or I'll have music in the background while I play. Or like NBA 2K18, normally I have music playing instead of the in-game commentary because I've played it that much that I know, I think I've heard every line of commentary in that game.
Oh,
for some
God.
reason.
Yeah, I guess I'm the opposite when it comes to, like, a gaming session. I play one game at a time. There's times where I do play, like, a multiplayer game in between, but it's normally just a single-player game that I focus one at a time with.
Yeah, I kind of struggle to get into, like, really getting into playing a game until, like, way further in. Like, it takes me a while. If I find a game that I love, I'll obsessively play it until I'm done. But otherwise, I play, like, a huge amount, like, varying. There's so many games I have to go back to. I still have to go finish A Hat in Time.
Oh, really?
I still haven't started it.
Neither have I. I haven't
You
even
haven't
boarded
started?
it.
It's good, and I know it's good, but I have to get back
No,
into it.
you know what's funny is I bought LA Noire earlier in the year on PS4, and it's still in like it's like plastic wrap because I've been playing that many games.
Yeah, when it comes to, like, massive backlogs, you ever just, like, I'm assuming you guys also have big backlogs of games to, like, finish.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Do you ever get those times where you finish a game and then you go to the next game and you just, like, you toggle through many games until you just stick to just one?
There are times where like I guess I just sort of like I have no idea what I feel like playing, and I'll go through like all the games that I've started that I need to like finish off, and I'll be like, don't feel like this, don't feel like this, don't feel like this. Well, GTA it is then.
Yeah.
And I sort of end up like that.
Yeah, I feel you there. Like, like when it comes to my process of like finishing games, I finish the game, I get sad. That's factual. And then afterwards, I go find something else to play. I play one game for like 10 minutes, then I go get bored with that, and then go to the next game for like another 10 minutes, get bored with that, and then move on, and then that keeps going and going until I run into a game I really want to play. And it always happens. Or unless I buy a new game and I just go through with that. Like, I've done that many times personally. Like, one example of a game that I've played for 10 minutes and I don't think I've picked it up after like I picked it up once, played it for 10 minutes, and then put it away. Don't kill me for this. It's The Witcher 3.
Here you go.
Pardon?
Hmm?
What did you just say?
I just said it's The Witcher 3.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, my friend, he gives me shit about it so much. I'm just like...
Most people have about 100 hours of game time. And they're just like, oh yeah, I've still got to do the main story.
Yeah, no, I've seen people do that.
Yeah,
I haven't played the game myself, but I've seen... I've watched my girlfriend play it. She still hasn't finished the main story, but played it for like 100 hours.
I'll tell you what. One of my mates, who played way too much Skyrim back in the day, and still till now, he picked it up earlier in the year because he was going on a trip, and he goes, you know what? I'll grab Skyrim for my Nintendo Switch. And he came back and he goes, oh yeah, I finally finished Skyrim. He goes, it was the first time I finished the main quest.
Oh my god.
How was Alduin? Like...
It's crazy. I love games you can sink time into. I hate restarting them though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is
like
painful.
I tried to get back into Fallout 4. Oh no. It's so hard to get back into it.
Oh yeah, no, it's I tried to get back into Fallout 4 recently too, and it's just fucking impossible.
I like got happy, loaded all mods in that, and I was like, alright, let's go. About 2 hours in and I'm like, back to God of War.
But we like to have fun. And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for the 12th episode of the Save File podcast. Today with me has been Master Ant.
Hey, what up?
And of course, Big Mac.
And F, have you actually earned the title of Master in anything? You know what? I don't think we've ever said where that's come from.
I just decided to call myself that in general. I think it came from the whole
No, Mr. Master Gamer.
Yeah, it came from that. I thought, minus the elitism, I just get rid of gamer and just put my name there and just slap it on. Like, there we go, that's a good name.
Yeah, no, I think it came because your name was the Master Gamer of the Universe.
Yeah, my email.
And then Josh said, just to piss you off, I'm going to call myself Master Gamer of the Multiverse.
That was my immediate response was, how can I fuck this over? Oh god. All that reminds me of is the USB incident. Because that was the same day.
Oh my god. I remember that.
Story? Go ahead.
Hold up. I think we should save that for next week, where we can go a little more in depth about it.
Alright, next week, university stories, so look forward to that. Today, with me has also been Charbel.
Hey, what's up?
And I've been Josh, and thank you for joining us. See you guys next time. Signing off.
Signing off.
Alright.